TSM is a company that has done phenomenal recently. We can see over the last 5 years, they're up 259%, right? And that's nothing new. I mean, we can see since 2014, so the 10-year chart, late 2014, early 2015, it's up from 25. So this stock has blown out the S&P 500 over the last decade plus. It is one of the best companies in the world, in my opinion. It is my number one position. I hold the most out of this stock of my portfolio of any stock I own. And let's dive into some reasons why I still think this company, even though we're just near all-time highs, I think it peaked around 212, 210, it's at 212, right? And it also pays a decent dividend even at these levels at 1.46%. So yeah, we can see the PE is only 30.5. That is not that crazy high, certainly for how well the company has absolutely blown the S&P 500 out of the water, basically doubling the performance. And it's right near the S&P 500 levels. We can see the PE is 31, S&P 500 PE is right around 27. The only big difference is this Ford PE is 29, while the S&P 500 Ford PE is about 23. However, if I were to guess, I would think this PE is probably going to be a bit lower. This company, I think they've been consistently beating. They probably will continue to beat as long as NVIDIA keeps doing the numbers they're doing. Taiwan Semi is going to be fine. This is NVIDIA's number one provider. So outside of just the numbers, the performance, whatever it may be, the reason Taiwan Semi is so valuable is because without them, NVIDIA can't really do anything. Now, technically, they could buy from Samsung and maybe Intel in the future. However, Samsung isn't profitable, and they're thinking about cutting down on their high tech nanometer stuff, like the 3 nanometers, not profitable. We're going to 2 nanometer within the next few years. They're probably going to cut down on that. So yeah, they do all the wafer stuff, all that stuff that NVIDIA requires, all the fabrication. I think that's the more key term for it. But yeah, no, TSM is one of the best. They're just phenomenal. Outside of, I mean, look at this growing dividend. I mean, we can take a quick look at revenue growth once it loads, right? If we look annually, I mean, we can see it went down a little bit in 2023. However, that was expected, but 60% and then basically 60% since 2021, right? And well, that's earnings per share. They had crazy margins in this one just because everyone was so desperate. But if we go off revenue, 34% increase, down 9%, and then up 28% this year. And next year will probably be even higher, right? We're at the end of a year. So most of these projections are basically where they hit, unless they just have a terrible last quarter, because we're 3 quarters throughout the year, right? But yeah, because TSM basically has a pseudo monopoly on one of the most valuable things in the entire world, that's why I like this company long term personally. But I also think it's decent to buy. So am I buying more shares at this? No, at this price, primarily because I already own enough of this company. It's my number one holding. I don't really need any more. Certainly with the amount it's gone up as well, I have more exposure to it just in the terms of total capital, right? But if I owned none of the stock, I would probably look to add some, even at these levels. In the short term, it may go down. It may run sideways for a year or two. I actually had that initially. I primarily bought around 2021, bought a little more in this range, and I was sideways on it for up until the beginning of this year, and then since then I've done very, very well, clearly, right? So obviously I'm not telling you to invest. You guys do whatever you want with your money, right? And I'm also not saying this is the perfect time to invest either. I do not know that. I look at the long term 3 to 5 years. I want to own the company that has basically a monopoly on one of the most valuable things in the entire world. And it's clear they're in the top 6 most valuable companies in the entire world. And it's really not, that's not really controversial. Now, some other risks, right? If AI slows down, doesn't do well for whatever reason, yeah, you're going to probably lose a lot, certainly in the short term when people start freaking out. However, long term, even without it, TSM would still do good because all the advanced computing in the world basically goes through them. And other things like Taiwan, China risk. If China invades Taiwan, yeah, you're going to lose a lot of money in this. However, you probably will on NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Google, all those at least in the short term, because the AMD, right? Because they all require this stuff. So if they disappear, that would not be very good at all. So let's take a quick look. Actually, let's look at historical PE first, right? We are a bit inflated, but that's not surprising because there were lows in 2023. People were really out of it, and then it's run up quite a bit. But even then, forward PE, according to them, forward PE is 21, so we get dramatic forward PE. I'm guessing this is just projections, right? I'm guessing, or maybe it's non-GAP versus GAP, but it's not a big issue. So we're fretting, 5, 6, 7% forward PE. It makes a difference, but not a huge difference. But yeah, it's relatively more expensive, but still within a reasonable range. This isn't just growth off of pure hype. However, if it was, that wouldn't be so surprising. But I know I've looked into the numbers. This one isn't just a pure hype machine, right? Okay, 16 of the 17 analysts say buy. I look at a lot of stocks on this channel. You can watch all the videos if you want. I'd be more than happy, but I have never seen this high percent of analysts saying buy. Now, I don't always like, oh, analysts say this, therefore it must be. We can see price target 230. That's pretty crazy. However, I love this stock. I think it's going to be great long term, all that sort of stuff. So, like I said, it's my number one holding. I absolutely love it. So, but anyways, I think I've said what I wanted to, guys. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy my content. I do daily stock content on this channel. Also, subscribing really helps my my channel in general. YouTube pushes the videos out a lot more whenever someone hits the subscribe button. YouTube's like, oh wait, people enjoy this, so then they push it out more. So anyways, I appreciate all of you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.